raga rag tal music is the basis of this, and of course, this music has been traveling for a long time, and the roots of this music go back to the Vedas. But in fact, realistically speaking, the music that we hear today is not necessarily, I mean, could be from the Vedas, but because there has been a lot of evolution, and the different rulers came to India, and there was court musicians, and so many who played, and new forms were created, and music, once it came out of the temples or accompaniment, many things changed, and the music changed, and different composers, different musicians, each generations for years and years add on to this incredible tradition. And this is the session that we are going to discuss Raga Darbari. Darbari is a very majestic royal raga. We have rag tal music, and most of our music is improvised, as everybody knows. And the most difficult thing is also to play a raga. And this particular raga tonight that I'm going to play a few examples for you, and also myself, I will be playing, was created by a very famous musician in Emperor Akbar court in 16th century, I think, around 16th century. That was the time when in the West, all these composers, Bach, and it was very similar tradition that we had court musicians and in India as well. And Akbar was known for his love for all different arts, music, poetry, architecture, and only in his court they had 9 jewels. How do you say? Jewels? Jewels. Akbar called them, that included a musician, and a poet, and architecture, and a painter, and so on. In every field, he excelled, and there was like a incredible Renaissance period, and no king other than him has done so much for arts and music and paintings and architecture. He commissioned to Mia Tansen. Mia was a title that was given to him by the emperor. He commissioned Tansen to create different ragas, since he was a great, well-known musician of the court. It was a great honor wherever he went to perform, and many times Akbar always patronized musicians and music, and he commissioned Tansen, Mia Tansen, the great musician, to create new ragas. And one of the ragas that he created was this Raga Darbari, which is incredibly beautiful, majestic, very elegant raga. Although it is like a minor scale in Western tradition, but the treatment that musician give certain notes that are are treated in such a way that it just creates, your heart goes vibrating, and it creates a very special effect, and creates a very different color and personality and mood, which rag tala each raga has. They say that there are two kinds of things in music, since it's all improvised. It's called ilm, which is the knowledge, and amla. Amla means the practical aspect of it. So this music, since it's an oral tradition coming from masters, gurus, teachers to the students, and imparted like that for generations and generations, there is nothing written. It would be very hard to do this music if it is written, and you cannot learn it from YouTubes and notations, and you have to realize that how important it is to study with in our tradition we call guru. Guru also means like the removal of all obstacle and difficulties, and takes you through the life. Also, this tradition has been changing slightly. It's different, but I think when you do this music, you naturally feel that devotion, that dedication, and the longer you are with it's just like opens up an ocean of joy, happiness, and frustration. Because the more you do it, the more difficult it gets, and you realize how much there is to do, and then it becomes your life. You live with it, you eat with it, you think with it, you sleep with it, and that becomes like a yoga. It is like yoga for me. No matter what situation I am going through, what is happening, just finding a new composition and having something to work on, a new bandish composition. This is a never-ending source of joy and happiness. Even in times like now, we are going through Corona times and lockdowns and staying. And this is the most beautiful thing to have for a lot of artists and musicians. It's giving them a chance to explore new thinking, new ways to express emotions, new ways to enrich it more. So basically, this music is rich in emotions and expressing bhav each raga has. So going back to Darbari, I'd like to demonstrate the scale, how the scale goes. It's certain movements in the rag that will stand it out, And Darbari is one of those ragas that for at least like over 400-500 years, people have, great stars have thought about it, made compositions, created melodies, and it's the same rag. If I played you 10 different artists tonight, we don't have enough time, but I certainly will play, and each gharana, each individual musician has a different fragrance. The notes are the same, but the way they interpret and play is very different emotionally. And that's what we call khayal. It's all your imagination. For years we learn, and then we have to kind of forget and play the raga, the music, not just like a technical stuff. You have to go deep. You have to go deep into the raga and surrender. Unless you surrender, music doesn't come. If you are staying in your head and always, you have to go deeper. And then the true color of raga will reveal. So the scale of this rag is very simple, but the treatment that we do each time we can play Raga Darbari, and each time it would have a different feeling to the listeners. So the scale again, I'm sorry, it goes. So we have this thing called chalan. Chalan means chal, the way a raga walks and talks. So in simple words, the scale would be just like. But if I played the same scale, so that's a khayal, or that's a very typical movement in this rag. So raga is like making a painting, So certain colors become dominant, and then once the painting is finished, or many times it's not finished because there's so much to do, but it creates a certain mood and impact on the listeners. And one thing I would like to mention here is that talking about Tansen, the great musician in Akbar's court, in present time, every performing musician in India, singer, musicians, somehow they connect to the lineage of Mia Tansen. And that's how the connection is they connect to Tansen, their families and students and disciples, and there's no musician, somehow, sons and daughters and relatives, and same kind of way the ragas have been created. So when I could perhaps say that when most musicians play this rag Darbari, they transpose, they try to imagine, the court and singing in front of the Emperor Akbar. And the closest thing that we musicians in contemporary times, we think of musicians immediately like Amir Khan Sahab, Ustad Bade Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab, musicians like I mean, many singers, and I cannot name everything. Abdul Karim Khan Sahab, Ustad Wahid Khan Sahab. These particular ones are musicians coming from Kirana, Gharana, and Punjab, Patiala, you know. So imagine, I mean, and each school or each musician is such a unique way of expressing this rag, and you get goosebumps when you listen to them, and never get tired. Each time I have been hearing this rag, one piece from one particular artist for 30 years, and each time I am just blown away that there's so much beauty, hidden beauty, and each time I hear it, I learn something new, and it's just very exciting. Anyway, I think I should play a little bit. Everybody is getting, and I hope, please, I hope I can do little justice, because this raga, it takes many years to really to express give out the way it's supposed to, and I don't dare. Most people don't dare to play this rag until you have in this for 30 years, 20 years. Our teachers never taught us this in the beginning, and I said, they said that it takes many years. However, even though they say that Mia Tansen created this Darbari, but there is a similar, in tradition, Carnatic tradition, there is as we were talking about families before, there is a family of Kannada, and a rag Kannada that is also already in South Indian Carnatic tradition. So it's all connected, and same thing, people say that sitar was created by, anyway, we'll get into that later. But here is a little offering, and my humble offering. Let's see, a composition I'm going to play in Khayal style, which is the singing Gaiki style of Khayal. And this is a composition in medium teen tal, a rhythm cycle of 16 beats, in Firoz Khani style gut, Khayal style gut. Thank you.
Wow,
Right.
so
Difficult.
beautiful.
The structure of this rag, if you don't pay attention, it's just very easy to get get out of it. So, Arun ji, kaisa laga? How?
Yes. Well, that was very beautiful. Thank you both so much. And I failed to introduce Mir, who is with you. So I just want to say this is Mir Naqibul Islam on tabla.
I'm
Beautiful.
very grateful that he's here.
No, no, the pleasure is mine.
I was going to say that I'm very fortunate to have, and we are all very fortunate that we have people. It's a blessing to have Mir among us
Right.
with BRM, and he's been very kind and helpful. Sometimes he makes me
I don't know
practice.
who's been kind here.
So it's a wonderful, and I'm very, very thankful to my partner, Mariko Hirakawa,
Yeah.
who's has been inspiring me and has been a great support in making me do better and better. So the more I do, I feel like I am a student. I'm just beginning, and that's an exciting time in life because you know it's a freshness. It's like a fresh romance about life and about music, and I never consider. I feel very funny when people call me Pandit and all that. Sad because you know just the
Always.
stage of this music is it's just so amazing. So I'm very thankful to you and everybody who is. I find it's very lucky for me. I wouldn't be for except for a few people. I won't be in New York if this wasn't happening. So I'm thankful to BRM who's
Yes.
trained it.
We're all thankful for you,
Yes,
Krishna.
thank
So
you so much.
we have a question from the chat here on Zoom. Are
Yes,
certain ragas specific to certain gharanas?
there are there is a group of ragas that every gharana plays or sings. And that's even more challenging because to create something which has already been done so many times and so beautifully and by many different artists, it becomes a rather challenging to give it a new shape. So, yes, the answer is that Darbari, for instance, is belongs to everybody. And as I said earlier, that all the musicians connect to Tansen. And of course, sometime when we have time, I'll play you my favorite selective versions of this raga. But there are certain ragas that pe- uh, different gharanas specialize. They are favorite, as it is in a musician's whole lifetime. They play about 18 or 20 ragas. They might know a lot of ragas and they might play, but in a whole performing career of a musician, They just play 10 or 20 ragas, but each time they play those ragas comes with a new feeling and new attire, new fragrance, and at least sometimes it doesn't happen. It's such a blessing that a raga, as I was saying, that unless you're humble, it's just like it doesn't go deeper and it stays on the surface. So in old times, ustads, it's very, all musicians, perform musicians, if you get a blessing from a guru, from a knowledgeable ustad, it's more than Padma Bhushan or Bharat, I mean, to get praise from someone that you really respect and regard is the greatest award that a musician feels that they get. So in old times, it was very difficult when musicians play, they would be usually like the front row would be all great ustads and pandits and it was like they make you naked. They make you as if what can you play for them? They already have done for years and years, everything has been done. So what can you offer? So if you do something and if they praise, that's the nicest reward and award. And they used to say, "Bhai, आज तो हमने राग का इत्र सुना, राग नहीं सुना, राग का इत्र सुना." Means today I heard the real essence of the raga, not the raga, because raga doesn't adhere to merely like a technique and fast and my Baba from Meher Gharana, the guru of Ustad of Ali Akbar Khan Sahib, Pandit Ravi Shankar, he said he was interviewed once and people asked him, people are going to the moon. What are you guys doing with music? So he said, we are going in the womb of, we are going down in the ocean, the deeper and deeper. And
I love that.
people want to know what pleasure it is. Everybody can go to the moon fast and fast and fast, but nobody is going slow. And it's very difficult to do slow music because it requires a tremendous amount of attention and mastery and technicality.
So just a follow-up question about that, about gharanas. In a raga like Darbari, do different gharanas have different ways of playing it?
Yes,
Yeah.
they do. I am particularly drawn to Kirana Gharana because of my association with some of my gurus, and I am very fond. For me, raga is a khayal, an amazing imagination, and something that you create such a beauty that somebody you hear, like say Bihag or Shuddha Kalyan from somebody, and all this time you wondered, "Arey yaar, how can I? What else can I do?" I find my limitations. I cannot do anything. And then you hear somebody like Ustad Amir Khan, Abdul Karim Khan, or Bhimsen Joshi, or other people famous from other gharanas, and the whole raga reveals. It opens up. You just wonder, oh I never thought that I could go there. And the raga is intact. Raga's form is intact. Even just now I could see that I was hesitating a couple of times to play certain phrases. But that's what a great musician will. And I have heard Amir Khan Sahib maybe 20 times Darbari, and each time it's just like a new romance, new fragrance, new excitement, and it's just such a beautiful interpretation he used to think each time he did a concert or raga. So talking about Ustad Amir Khan, I have a very beautiful, rare piece, a of recording of Raga Darbari. You think we can play it
Yes,
for the audience?
certainly.
Would you, or is there another question that I should,
Well,
or should
right
we
before
finish
we
our
get to
conversation first?
yeah, well, once right before we get to Amir Khan, somebody did ask if you could just talk a bit about the bandish that you just played, who composed it, and any information about that.
I had mentioned that I was playing this bandish in khayal style, in the gaiki style of the way a khayal will elaborate, slowly. And I personally, I'm very fond of medium tempo compositions. So in my repertoire, I play many compositions that are in medium tempo. Often I feel very relaxed. I feel very imaginative. I feel like I can do a lot more. Although people find it the most difficult, It was also known like a Feroz Khani style of bandishes. So the bandish that I played, the bandish means composition, is based on a khayal composition, which goes, the two lines of the lyrics are हम नाही कछु काम के अपने भरोसे राम के. Means in a way it means the essence of this bhavarth is this, that I'm nothing and I'm totally existing because of the supreme God, Allah, Bhagwan, Ram, jo bhi hai. So it's all the same. So it's an intense, immense, very deep way of expressing devotion, and very cleaning, very healing way of like forgetting who are we, who am I. It's like to sort of wash away the I, that you are nothing, we are nothing. That's the meaning, that's the bhav. And you cannot fight. Darbari is such a rag. People thought, all the musicians and composers in old times, they already thought that you cannot play a raga, you are supposed to play tenderly, not like fight with it or play like it's like a wrestling match or something. So they made already for playing fast in the same family. For instance, Kanhara family, Darbari is for slow, mostly is for alap. You don't even sing, and a person like Ustad Amir Khan will sing 45 minutes or 50 minutes, the slow composition, slowly, and maybe 10 minutes for a faster bandish, which might be in another rag, which is also from the Kannada family, like Suha, Sugurai, Naiki, Arana, and so on.
So should we listen to Amir Khan recording?
Yes, should we? And you will see that I was very influenced by this bandish. I recently came across this in my collection, and I just fell in love with it again. And here it is for everybody. I would like to share and listen to it. It's very, very meditative, very beautiful, and the inside it will just for me. I don't know how everybody will react to it, but it's all how their heart and mind work, so.
Yes. Okay, so I'll start it. If
Yeah, and let's play maybe according to time, 10 minutes, 10 minutes of it, maybe.
yeah, well, we have about, only about 15 minutes left.
How much?
We have about 15 minutes left.
15 minutes.
So maybe, we can play 5 minutes of this.
5 minutes, and then we make
have
sure that we play Abdul Karim Khan, because Abdul Karim Khan influenced Amir Khan Sahib. So we could, after him, we can play Abdul Karim Khan's 3-minute piece that is there.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so
Thank you.
here is Amir Khan.
इसको बंद कर दें. याग्निक is
Wow.
what a word.
Yes. So incredible. Amir Khan is always is because you know I haven't listened much in when I was younger, but now I'm listening more, and just falling in love with that voice. That
This,
fluency.
and especially this recording, uh, only one recording exists like this, and not most of his Darbari versions. He doesn't sing this, and you might have noticed one thing is that the theka is very, even though it's 16 beats, but it goes in such a way, just like dha, dhin, dha. It's like we used to call. One time I asked Abbaji, Ustad Allah Rakha ki ye dha kridhin, dhin, dha kridhin. Then this kind of teka, we call this langada, langada teen tal, you know. But when it's played, how would you translate langda? Anyway,
Like a little lame, so like
lame,
lagging,
yes,
it's
yeah,
a
like
bit of
sort of
lag.
not like showing the 4 full beats, you know.
More
So,
space.
so imagine, you know, to improvise against that teka, it just binds you, you know, and it's a beautiful way. So Amir Khan Sahib was influenced by Abdul Karim Khan Sahib, and Abdul Karim Khan, I think, sings a, a composition like that, you know. Actually, Amir Khan later in the recording sings a Drut composition, Chota Khayal, which is the same as Abdul Karim Khan's. It's a about like, how can I come to you? I have ankles in my feet, and everybody will wake up and notice that I'm coming to meet you secretly. So
Maybe we can play that.
so we can play, and that's why today especially I ask Mir to bring a lower sa, which
Gotcha.
sort of goes back to Pakhavaj style of playing. In older times, Pakhavaj was used for accompaniment and veena. So that was the reason, and it's it's a very different experience to have low sa.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'm
So,
also very thankful to all the BRM people and Neil Murgai, Shamirji. I haven't seen him for ages, and everybody else. Please, my heartfelt thanks to everybody, and thanks for inviting me. I look forward to the next time. Can we hear some Abdul Karim Khan?
yes, for
We
sure.
have time?
Yes. I'll
And
play.
if any questions anybody wants, I will be very happy. Neil said that we can go on longer too, but
We can see
maybe
if
everybody is getting hungry and wants to have a drink or something.
oh, they can still do it. Okay,
Yes.
so here we go. Abdul.
Okay.
Ah, we have an audience.
Okay, we have an extra member who's coming to sit with us. Okay. So,
We have. Thank you so much. So it was really nice, huh?
Pleasure.
ये सब इकट्ठा होके सब हो गया, अच्छा हो गया. नहीं तो आपने रिकॉर्ड किया.
Jaya
So, can I say two things to this?
Yes.
If you listen to it carefully and attentively, there are two things which was different from Amir Khan's version of Darbari. One was that he approached the psalm, which is the first beat of the cycle composition. So he went from sa to ga instead of sa re ga. He went ni sa ga in the whole composition. That was one interesting thing. And then he also, his tar saptak approach to the higher octave had not the komal ni, but sort of between natural and flat ni, you know. Ma pa da ni sa ni sa ni sa re re da ni pa. That's one ni. Ni pa ma pa da ni sa ni sa.
So ascending, is it a little higher? And
Oh,
then
little,
you're going back
yes.
to fa.
Ascending is little higher when he went. So in old times, Ustads did that because it brought a
Yeah.
very good shade, you know, of bhav, nice. So many rags are, use both knees, and there is a whole different science to it. There is a whole different approach, and
Even
so
the da and the ga, are do they tend to be a little flatter?
yes. So if you told somebody that Darbari uses Gandhar and Dhaivat Andolan, but you have to vibrate, you have to Andolan, how do you say
Modulate.
Andolan?
You can say modulate the
Modulate.
Modulate or
Andolan is like this vibration.
oscillate.
Oscillate.
Yeah.
So if you said something in theory, nobody will understand what it means unless you do it. What is Andolan means, you cannot show it in books. You cannot, even good musicians can't see sometimes. So music is all, hearing, seeing through your ears and hearing through your eyes, sometimes. So it's a very subtle observations. And when you hear, if you hear it again, you will see that nishad is the higher nishad, the higher natural seventh is in between the flat and then the way, because later years, people made ragas like Sugrai, which the aroe would be Nisa Ga, Mapa Nisa, So it could give you the impression that maybe it's a slight, influence of Sugrai also in his jan jan da 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 da. this in reality it would be da 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 da. So he went straight on Gandha. Da 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 re sa re ga ma re sa ni sa ga ma pa. Yes, it's just a slight treatment will change the whole feeling
And
of
is
that.
this, do you think this is from this artist and different individual artists wanting to bring out different
I'm not
that's
sure. I
not
mean, I never paid attention. I heard what he's saying, but when I was sort of analyzing, selecting for this Raga Massive session, I noticed that first time that actually he's not really going re sa re ga. He's going more like da ni sa ga ma re sa. It is Darbari, but it feels little strange to me. I
right.
don't know about. I mean, you have to listen to it a few times.
There's one interesting question somebody asked was, is there any visual representation of Darbari? Is it associated with anything visually or any certain colors or imagery?
maybe some mood.
Yeah, I think it's very Shangar Pradhan rag. Uh, Meditative also. Very, very, very rich. I don't know. I mean, when you hear a raga, there is no prescribed so-called mood for one. People say, well, this raga has this mood, but I don't feel that. When you go to a concert, an artist announces this raga has this mood. What does it mean? It has no meaning, because everybody is coming, each listener is coming with a different problem to listen to your concert. Somebody had a fight, somebody made love, somebody, you know, is in immense pleasure zone, and somebody is depressed. So what affects your interpretation of the raga, that's the test of a musician, how you fix their problems, how you elevate them, and how, that's the purpose of music, is to lift you up, bring you out of the mundane life that we are all going through, and take you on a plateau, on a journey to forget this. So there is a prescribed rasa, but I couldn't, it depends on the composition. If you play slow, you will feel a different rasa. If you play fast, you will feel a different rasa. So
I'm happy to hear you say that because I've also always felt that, ragas were supposed to feel a certain way. You hear or you read about this
no,
or that,
I, I,
but
I
then
mean, I
I'm like, oh wait,
depends.
that doesn't make me feel that way at all. Actually,
Not totally, but like Tori is supposed to be very sad, and only we used to hear Tori only somebody died, some minister, and always, they would play sarangi playing Tori when some Nehru died, or Pandit Nehru or something. But Tori is such a beautiful rag. It depends on how you interpreted it, and Bageshwari is supposed to be like this, and Pahadi is like this, or Maj Kamaj is like this. So I think it's just again, it's a very individual
yeah.
way of how you look at the raga. We 10 people you hear Bageshwari, and each time you will feel a different turn on, or of different moods, and some. So
Beautiful. Well, um, I don't know if you are okay with it, and if we have a few minutes, if you would be willing to play just a little bit more um, of Darbari, we would
more
love it.
Darbari, okay.
Yeah, beyond the just as a closing kind of thing, or if not, that's okay. Also, we had a really wonderful, wonderful.
Can we? Is it possible to see who our audience is, or?
Yeah, well, if you switch to gallery view on your side.
Yeah,
Oh,
we are actually far from
But
the bottom.
most people are not showing their video. If you're listening right now, please feel free to show your video. Say hello. Krishnaji would love to see you.
yes.
And thank you. Yeah, I see people are showing up now.
Oh, look
There's
at
Neil.
this. Oh, Neil,
Number
did you
one.
hear? Okay. Hi. I can't see who is all. Oh, Seemaji is there.
We
Let's
love
see.
seeing everybody's faces. Hi, everybody.
Oh, how nice. Thank you so much. Thanks very much for being here and being with us and sharing this evening with us. Thank you so much. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And, Krishna ji will be here every Thursday. So every week,
Yeah, for next 3 Thursdays,
every Thursday,
we'll do different things. Yes.
make sure you come. It's going to be really fascinating. He's going to be talking about different families of ragas each week. We went into Darbari today, and I don't remember off the top of my head what we're doing next week, but I'm sure it's going to be something we all want to check out. So, yes, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Krishna ji. Thank you, Mir.
Thank
Wonderful. This was really a treat, and for all of us, I think I can speak for everyone saying what a treat to listen to you speak and play. We're grateful. Thank you, Krishna.
I'm thankful to the wonderful audience and listeners who were there. Thanks, sir. And
Yes.
it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. Great pleasure for us also to play for you. Thank you. And looking forward to the next time,
Next week, we'll be back,
next week. Okay.
right? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you again next week. Till then.